We are joined by Impact 307 Director Scott Rendall and the winners of the 2022 Sheridan Startup Challenge, Megan Wells, creator of Horsewell, and Louisa Crosby, founder of Gannett Health. Did I say that correct?
You did, yeah.
Gannett Health.
Gannett Health.
Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, it's pretty cold out there, so I want to thank you for coming into the studio today. It's pretty chilly. Megan, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. I just want to get to know you guys a little bit as our winners. Where did you grow up?
I was born and raised in Johnson County, so I've been here forever. My parents' ranch just outside Buffalo, so I've grown up on a ranch in Johnson County.
Nice. So you know horses well.
I would like to think I do.
Now, what do you do outside of developing Horsewell before you came up with this idea?
So I am a mother of two, and my husband is Ian Wells. We live just southeast of Buffalo on our own family ranch. So we ranch. We're busy with all the cows and our own horses. I like to train barrel horses also.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I also work as a registered nurse at Sheridan Memorial Hospital.
You got your hands full.
I do.
On top of all that, you're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and open up a business.
That's right. Keeps me out of trouble.
Wow. Now, tell me about Horsewell. What is this product?
So Horsewell was developed several years ago. I was working as a registered nurse at the hospital, and I saw physical therapists using myofascial release therapy on some of the patients in the hospital. And after watching these patients for about a week, I was driving to a barrel race that following weekend and just driving along. I was thinking, gosh, why don't I have something like this to use on my horse? And so from there, I started doing research, taking massage classes, and then just went into developing my own myofascial release blade for horses. And so what it is it's a myofascial release blade that's specifically designed for the different equine muscle groups. This one product can cover all of the different muscle groups of the horse, and it'll allow horse owners to be their own massage therapist at home and really save them some time and energy.
Wow. And I just want listeners to know that, horse physical therapy is a big deal. And in the state of Wyoming, and I do believe down at the university, you can actually graduate with either a certification or a degree in it. I had a friend down there who did just that. And she kind of opened up her massage therapy thing on the side. And I used to visit her. The only massage therapist I ever visited. Because, after she worked on those horses, holy cow, she gets to work on you. And it's just, ugh.
It's amazing.
It hurts, but it's amazing.
It is. It feels great after.
Exactly. The whole during process, not so much, but it got the job done.
Yes.
Now, if during the development of this product, because, a lot of people out there might say, I want to develop something like this, but how do I make it? What are the challenges, or what was your biggest challenge in the development of the product itself?
So as I was starting this, I started with this idea and then researched this idea, and it dawned on me, this hasn't been created. This is something I can do. So then from there, my biggest challenge was, where do I even start? I was like, I don't even know which foot to put forward. Like, do I try and contact a patent attorney? Do I try and develop this product first? And so my biggest challenge was where to start. And what helped me get over that is actually I had an attorney point me into the direction of Impact 307. And after I met with Scott for the first time, he gave me a great, step-by-step, you should start here. You should make a prototype and let people try it to even see if this is going to work. And from there, the pieces just fell together. And I've been meeting with them regularly, and I would not have been able to create this without them. So I'm very thankful for Impact 307.
How did you develop the prototype?
Actually, through Impact 307, he got me in touch with some people locally who work the maker space. And so I met with them, great group of guys, incredibly intelligent. They really helped me plan out my idea and take it from a piece of paper into a 3D printer. And then I was holding my product in my hands.
How cool was that
It
moment?
was so cool. It's just so surreal, and it's been really fun, the whole process.
That's pretty amazing. How big is this thing?
It's about 8 by 4 inches. Has convex and concave edges on it, and then the edges taper to a point, not a sharp point, but a blunt point.
Okay, so it literally looks like a blade.
It does.
And there's a slight curve to it?
There is, yes.
And you put it on the horse on the muscle and just kind of run it down.
You do, yeah. You run it with the muscle fibers on the horse, and you can use moderate pressure and you push into them. And when you use the edge of this blade, it can pull the fascia, which is a layer of fibrous tissues, and that can hold a lot of restrictions in a horse. Especially they have a long line of fascia down their top line, so from their head all the way to their tail. And if that line of fascia has restrictions or pain, it can affect the entire rest of the body, which then can affect the way they move, the way they ride, how their training turns out. And so this product is something that you can use 10 minutes a day. Use it on your horse. It's very effective. It's very fast. You don't want to use it for a long time. So 10 minutes while people are saddling, they can take a horse that has never really had massage to somebody who gets massage regularly, and then they're going to perform better and feel a lot better.
And I imagine you use this on your own horses.
I do.
Did you see like a big improvement in the way that they behaved and the way that they moved?
I did. My horses, they'd always really lean into it, want more massage. They'd run up to the gate, kind of like, hey, you going to give me a massage today?
So they got to the point where they're
They
looking
do.
forward to it.
They do. And I had a trial period where we gave prototypes to 11 different trainers. It was cutters, reiners, barrel racers, tie-down roper, jumper, and we had 100% satisfaction with it. Everybody's like, my horse loves this. I love this. They're getting a lot of benefit from this. And so from there, we really took the leap and started the business, and we're both feet in.
That's incredible. That's fantastic. You know, the only thing I can really remember from being a child is watching my dad give our horse a bottle of beer now and then. Put it right in the corner of his mouth, tip his head, and drink a whole bottle. They were each other's drinking buddies. Louisa, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bighorn.
Bighorn.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're a local girl as well.
I am.
Now, what do you do outside of Gannett Health?
I have a young daughter who keeps my partner and I pretty busy.
Yeah.
And we live on our family's property, so we basically spend most of the year keeping that property up, doing a lot of wildlife habitat management, taking care of trees.
Oh, wow.
So that's what we do, get into here locally, and then in the winter we try and get out and snowshoe or cross country ski, just try and stay really active.
And really enjoy where you live, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, I wish I was more like that. I really, we live in a beautiful spot, rarely go up to the mountains. I need to get out more. So it seems like you're very conservation minded.
That's how I grew up. I grew up with parents who really cared about wildlife, animals, trees, native grasses, native plants. And so really it's an honor to be able to carry on their work in the place that we live, and hopefully it will be a place where our daughter or other children are able to spend time as well.
What inspired you to found Gannett Health?
Probably really just years of working in healthcare and not being able to have the types of relationships that I wanted to have with patients. When I wanted to become a nurse practitioner, I had previously been working in advocacy, and that was my motivation for becoming a provider. And over the years in different roles, I've found it really difficult to have the amount of time that is required to really take care of your patient, just with time constraints and how busy medical practices are. And so that's what has propelled me to start my own practice, where I can decide how and when and where I meet with patients and how much time to spend with them and what we're able to focus on.
And that's really like the unique part of Gannett Health, you being able to not be choosy about your patients, but devote more time where you feel it needs to be.
Exactly. And that's obviously a decision that I'm making with my patient in terms of their priorities. But direct primary care is this general model of healthcare that that I'm working within. Direct primary care has really only been around for about 20 years. It's similar to a concierge model, but concierge care is typically very, very expensive. You might pay thousands and thousands of dollars every year just to have access to your provider. With direct primary care, it's all about breaking down barriers between patients and their provider, providing patients with an affordable healthcare plan that they pay monthly or annually. And with that plan, you have unlimited access to your nurse practitioner or your physician, unlimited visits every month, unrushed, on-time appointments, same-day appointments. You also have access to your provider after hours via phone call, text, or HIPAA-compliant email. And I also offer weekend appointments as well.
Wow. So let's go down. Like, do you have like a list that you can tell me all the services that you will actually provide?
So generally speaking, it's primary care, so the management of acute and chronic diseases, anything from hypertension or high blood pressure to diabetes, chronic pain, really that anything that falls under the primary care umbrella. I'm also able to perform minor surgical procedures like skin biopsies or laceration repairs, so keeping you out of an urgent care when we can really just do that in the office and I can respond quickly to a need. I'll note that I never hesitate to send people to the emergency room, and we're really trying to avoid those delays in care whenever we can. I do women's health, all of your annual screenings that are needed. I'm starting to do an IV fluid therapy model that's both mobile and clinic-based. And, hormone replacement therapy, it's really a pretty broad reach.
Yeah. So basically, and stop me if I'm going off on the wrong path here. You're like Dr. Quinn, right?
A lot of people make that analogy to the good old-fashioned country doctor that does house calls.
Coming to the house, taking care of us.
Yeah.
Has anybody, I forget the name of the bag, but has anybody got you one yet?
No, not yet.
Maybe Santa will pay you a visit.
Yeah.
That seems pretty amazing. What have you found? And I can only imagine there's probably a lot of challenges in founding something like this. What would you say was the biggest one that you had?
Really trying to decide what I'm not going to do, because they're, really in a direct primary care model or any private practice model, you're really just limited by, your own skill set and where that ends. And I've worked in a variety of settings, everything from hospital ICUs to urgent care, women's health, geriatrics, end-of-life care. And so that's really been the most challenging aspect for me, is deciding, okay, what is going to be my scope so that I can really hone in on that and scale appropriately without doing too much all at the same time.
Yeah. Because knowing where the line is and drawing your own line in the sand. Has that been a challenge to basically tell people that? Or they're like, nope, you're right, I should go to the emergency room for X, Y, and Z?
No, I am very clear when we first do I do a free consultation with anybody who's interested in becoming a patient. And I always, review that right out of the gates, what qualifies as an emergency. If you ever second guess and don't know, better safe to get yourself to an emergency room right away. If it's not something that's an emergency, but you think it's an urgent matter, feel free to give me a call, but never hesitate to get the care that you need in a timely manner.
What led you to the Startup Challenge?
I had heard about it from other friends and mentors who had participated and actually been prior challenge winners. And I hesitated to apply. I just thought, this is not something that I would be selected for. I would never win. And then I ended up applying. I think it was a couple hours before the deadline.
Oh, wow. You were one of the last minute folks, huh? And here you are.
And here I
One
am.
of the winners.
Yeah.
That's amazing what
It's
can
an
happen.
honor.
You're right. It's amazing. All right. When we come back, we're going to continue with our 2022 Startup Challenge winners. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE, 103.9 FM, Sheridan.
First Federal Bank and Trust is excited to announce the First Federal Community Commitment Program.
Each week for 52 weeks starting in January, First Federal will select a Sheridan County nonprofit who will receive $1,000 in cash, plus Sheridan Media will match that with a marketing budget.
You can find an entry form at any First Federal Bank location or online at efirstfederal.bank. If you've received a donation from First Federal in the last 3 years, you're automatically entered into the drawing.
Community Commitment, presented by
First Federal Bank and Trust.
and Sheridan Media.
Member FDIC.
What a joy it is walking through the neighborhood, looking at all the colored lights lining the houses. Some twinkling, some dancing, some just giving off a beautiful glow. Your friends at MDU hope all the joys of Christmas light up your heart this season. May your entire home be joy-filled and bright with holiday happiness. Here's to wishing you and yours a very happy holiday season and the very best in the new year to come. Warmest season's greetings from Montana Dakota Utilities.
Desperado Dave here with Sheridan Honda and Power Sports and First Northern Bank Pro Football Pick'em. Here's what happened this week on KROE.
Wesley Warden, 10 points. Guess what Wesley picks up? $100 gas certificate.
Nice.
Oh, from Farmers Co-op,
That's
from our
nice.
friends at
Awesome.
Farmers Co-op. Yeah, win that.
Isn't that the place that has really good breakfast burritos as well?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Are you spending on that? 'Cause I think that's what I would do.
$100 of breakfast
$100 of
burritos.
breakfast.
That's a lot.
Sounds great.
Like one burrito a day for 30 days or 60 days would be ideal.
Like that. That's a great idea, Candace. Yeah. Well, let's
A different kind of gas.
yeah, a different kind.
Wednesday morning. Melanie, welcome.
Welcome, Melanie.
We're live every Wednesday at 7:40 a.m. on KROE 103.9. Play along with us for a chance to win a prize valued at $100 every week. Make your picks at Pro Football Pick'em on the contest page on SheridanMedia.com.
Okay, true or false? The original Santa Claus actually did have eagle-like claws. That is actually true. You know what is also true? You can get great Christmas gifts at Hendo Service Center. Think about a snowplow for his 4x4 side-by-side. Heck, think about a 4x4 side-by-side. There's snowmobiling accessories and Bluetooth speaker systems for his 4x4. Don't forget to remember Hendo's pickup and delivery service on service and repairs. Merry Christmas from Hendo. Ho, ho, ho's.
Our $2,500 gift card giveaway is on now. Ho, 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 Kurt Smith here for the Sheridan Commercial Company. Today and every day until Friday the 23rd. We're giving away $500 in gift cards every day, 10 $50 gift card winners each day for 5 days for $2,500 in gift cards. Don't miss out. You can't win if you don't come in and register today. Sign up today and every day. Merry Christmas from all of us at the Sheridan Commercial Company at 303 Broadway.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends out there at First Federal Bank and Trust. I'm Floyd Whiting. This morning, we're joined by Impact 307 Director Scott Rendall and the winners of the 2022 Sheridan Startup Challenge, Megan Wells, the creator of Horsewell, and Louisa Crosby, founder of Gannett Health. Now, as winners, you've each received a $5,000 cash award for being the winners of the 2022 challenge, and now you are eligible for an additional startup capital in early 2023 from the balance of the $100,000 challenge seed fund. Now, Megan, real quick, what's happened since pitch night? What's changed?
Since pitch night, we've done quite a bit. We have our website launched. We have pre-orders coming in, and we are now talking to retail stores to hopefully get further out there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Retail stores, I'm not asking you to say any names. I'll just throw it like farm stores, farm and tractor type stores?
Yes, sir. We'd like to get into some, like a Shipton's Tractor Supply, those kinds of stores and more. We're in contact with a store in Florida and Texas.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. Texas, it'll go like hotcakes, won't it?
We hope so.
Well, my dad's down there. As soon as he finds out about this, he probably will. Now, Louisa, what has happened with the practice since Startup Challenge? Did you get like an influx of patients who were like, you know what, this is the type of care I'm looking for?
Yeah, in some ways we did. The Impact Challenge was really great advertising for us. So we've done onboarding of patients, and we've actually moved into our clinic space, which took a lot more work than I expected it to, but we're finally there. And so, yeah, seeing patients and finishing out the clinic, and that's where we're at right now.
You know, and I don't have a practice, but I would guess that you can only take so many patients at a time, right? Or is this one of those situations where you're like, you know what? I can take as many as you can throw at me. I've got plenty of time to give.
Well, in direct primary care, usually the membership is limited to around 250 or 300 patients per provider. Some providers see more than that, but it's really about an eighth or even a 16th of what a typical primary care provider sees every year. So from the get-go, we are limiting the number of patients that we have so that we're able to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
So I would say, probably one patient a week would be about as much as I would want to do.
Absolutely. Wow, that's a lot of time to really devote.
Well, yeah. When we're first starting out, we're wanting to get people in a little bit quicker than that. But once we're more established, about one patient a week would be I would be happy with that onboarding.
But that's kind of the foundation of Gannett Health, isn't it? Being able to provide that type of attention, that type of time and devotion to a patient.
Yeah, well, healthcare advocacy really is not integrated into traditional models anymore because there simply isn't time for it. When you think about it, so many of the healthcare decisions that you're needing to make, important ones, require time and conversations with your provider. And when you only have the average 12 to, or I think it's actually 8 to 12 minutes with your primary care provider.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not enough time to talk about advanced care planning or considering a complex surgery or figuring out how you're going to be cared for at home when you're, really declining and not doing well. So that's what we're all about, is making time for those conversations and not only supporting patients, but also supporting family members.
Now, with the aid of these funds, what are you looking to get done over the course of the next year?
We'll do some advertising, but the bulk will likely be spent on buying medical equipment that will just further augment the services we're already able to provide under your membership. So, for instance, an EKG machine. If we're able to do that in-house, we're saving people a trip to a hospital or another clinic. And then there are just a lot of different types of equipment that you need, exam tables, procedure trays, all of that really adds up. And the healthcare market likes to mark up the cost of those, so they're quite expensive.
I was going to say, when it comes to healthcare, that's a big piece of bread and very little butter to go across the top of that thing.
That's right.
So you're just going to try to spread that as far as you can.
Yep. That's right.
Wow, that's expensive stuff, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and we'll likely, if all goes smoothly, be moving into a larger commercial clinic space, hopefully this summer. So there'll be more rooms to fill with more equipment.
Megan, what about you? What are you looking to do over the course of the next year? If you were to set a goal, is it just pretty much getting into those stores?
Getting in the stores is important, but we would also like to go to some trade shows, get our booth out there to other events. And then we are also looking in the future to develop more products and offer more services to equine owners.
Oh, fantastic. Has anything come to mind, or are we keeping that under wraps right now and just focusing on the blade?
I have a couple different myofascial release blades that I would like to create for horses. And then possibly in the future do a subscription-based educational site for horse owners to go to where they can learn different stretches for their horses, different massage routines, especially curtailing to whatever event that horse does. Yeah. We can better prepare them for competition or trail riding, whatever you want to do with your horse, just to prevent injuries and really be more ahead of a lot of horse industry is they get hurt, we take them to the vet, and we really want to push let's prevent this, let's get their muscles ready prior to competition so we see less injuries.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people are just like my father. Those horses are his world, his whole world. And when he loses one, he crushes that old man. But he really cares for them. But they are also an investment, aren't they?
They are. They're an investment, but they're magical animals. I mean, if you have a bad day and you spend some time with a horse, it will change your world. And they're just so wonderful.
I'm talking with CHAPS right after this, and they are literally an organization that puts forth that very belief. Yeah. Now, Scott, what ongoing support can Impact 307 provide to the business or the businesses that go through the Startup Challenge process?
Well, there's a number of things. Just getting launched is a big push-up. I mean, and the ladies here have kind of articulated that very well, that there's a lot of details to work on the front end. But then there's, okay, I'm launched, I have a revenue stream, so what's next? And so we work through how to potentially expand their markets. Louisa has talked about maybe going statewide. Megan would like to go national with her product, and we try to help them analyze how they would scale up the business without sort of spreading themselves too thin.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
Yeah. And so there's a number of things. Just getting them launched is just sort of the beginning of the process, but we really want to make it so that they have enough revenue and enough momentum behind their business to be able to scale up successfully and, grow their reach and grow their return. We do this so that, you can make a nice living. You're making an investment, a tremendous investment in your business in terms of time and blood, sweat, and tears and the equity that you're putting into it. Let's get something out of it. Let's make sure that there's a return. And so over several years, hopefully these folks will be very, very successful.
Absolutely. It's only the rest of your lives, right?
Yes. No big deal.
Yeah. All right. Now, real quick, Megan, where can I go to learn more about Horsewell?
We have our website up and running at horsewell.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook.
Fantastic. All right. What is that website?
Horsewell.com.
Horsewell.com.
Yes, sir.
Louisa, where can I go to learn more about Gannett Health? Maybe I'm out there listening and I was like, you know what? That's the type of doc I want.
You can visit our website, www.ganetthealth.com, GANNETT. And we are also on Instagram and Facebook.
Fantastic. All right. Ladies, Scott, I want to thank you for coming in today, and best of luck to both of you moving forward. Congratulations on your winnings. Now the real work begins, doesn't it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we're going to speak with CHAPS. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Shared.
First Federal Bank and Trust is committed to our community.
Beginning in January, we'll be donating $1,000 cash each week for 52 weeks to a qualified Sheridan County nonprofit organization, and Sheridan Media will match that with a marketing budget.
First Federal is one of 2 mutual banks in Wyoming, which means they don't pay stockholders. They reinvest your funds right back into the place we call home. Visit efirstfederal.bank for details. Community commitment, presented by
First Federal Bank and Trust
and Sheridan Media.
Member FDIC. First Federal Bank and Trust is excited to announce the First Federal Community Commitment Program.
Each week for 52 weeks starting in January, First Federal will select a Sheridan County nonprofit who will receive $1,000 in cash, plus Sheridan Media will match that with a marketing budget.
You can find an entry form at any First Federal Bank location or online at efirstfederal.bank. If you've received a donation from First Federal in the last 3 years, you're automatically entered into the drawing.
Community commitment, presented by
First Federal Bank and Trust
and Sheridan Media.
Member FDIC.
Champion Funeral Home is dedicated to providing compassionate and personalized service to your families. They provide support, personable care, and affordable prices to Sheridan and Johnson County and surrounding areas. Champion Funeral Home has been family owned and operated since 1911. They will comfort you in your time of need and provide your family with a meaningful tribute to your loved one. Contact Champion Funeral Home at championfh.com or call 674-6369.
Wyoming Corporate Office is the trusted business choice behind thousands of businesses. Whether it's business formation, payroll, corporate paperwork, mail scanning service, or small business phone service, Wyoming Corporate Office powers over 100,000 businesses worldwide and locally. This makes Wyoming Corporate Office the state's largest business-to-business service provider, located right here in Sheridan, Wyoming. If you're drowning in corporate paperwork looking for someone with an unmatched experience that cares and wants to be your partner in making your business successful, trust that Wyoming Corporate Office can help you focus on what makes your business tick. Learn more today by visiting wyomingcorporateoffice.com.
Hey there, listeners. I'm every over-enthusiastic radio announcer ever. And if you think that's enthusiastic, then you need to check out Best Real Estate because we are enthusiastic about selling properties. So if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell, we are your go-to real estate team. Call us at 675-BEST or visit our website at bestwy.net for all of your real estate needs. Brokered by EXP.
Is your home ready to keep you warm this winter so that your pipes don't freeze? Have you been putting off some plumbing or heating maintenance? If so, you need to call Wrap Plumbing and Heating to make sure that you are ready for the cold winter months. Call 429-1196 today so that you're ready for tomorrow. Wrap Plumbing and Heating. As we like to say, if you find a leak, let Dan take a peek.
This is Dan Marshall with Captain Clean. While dirty ductwork and carpet doesn't necessarily mean unhealthy air in your home, school, or workplace, they may be contributing to larger health issues or harboring contaminants that could cause serious problems for people with respiratory health conditions, autoimmune disorders, or environmental allergies. Call Captain Clean today for your free HVAC and free carpet cleaning estimate. It's 100% free. Captain Clean, 672-0726. Affordable choices for healthy living.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse. I'm Floyd Whiting. For the second part of our show this morning, I'm joined by the Executive Director of CHAPS Equine Assisted Services, Kristen Marcus, and Administrative Assistant and Volunteer Coordinator, Teresa Garrett Martin. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, it's been a while since we got to sit down together, Kristen. You were actually one of the first people that I interviewed when I got the job over in Buffalo.
Yes.
All those years ago.
Yeah, you did a story on us with our pony program over in Buffalo.
That's right. And there was a great man who lived right down the street from me, and he used to use your services a lot. Oh. He was a little older. He was a volunteer at a lot.
And we miss him.
He was a great guy.
He really was, yeah.
You know, and later on in life when he was all by himself in that big old house, the only thing he did was go out into the community and help. And that's one thing that I absolutely love about CHAPS. You know, I moved my wife over here from Minnesota. She heard about your organization, and she's in love.
Yay!
She wants to figure out how to help you guys out. So we'll talk about some volunteer stuff coming up.
Fabulous.
And I can guarantee she's going to listen.
Cool.
So now, how have you been?
We've been really well. We've had a lot of things going on, and you know, it's just one step in front of the other every year. We're getting busier and busier every year, so that's good too.
Yeah,
serving more people in the community.
Now, since you and I started working together, has it grown? Like thinking back on that time and then looking at it now, is it? It's just totally different.
Well, not totally different, but we've definitely expanded. We've got new staff members, and so we are serving more different demographics in the community now as well. So I think when you and I talked, we were doing the veterans program. We had just started our pre-K program at the Child Development Center, but now we're going into assisted living centers as well.
Wow.
We're hopefully going to be starting to serve Greenhouse in January and taking the ponies up there. And then we've also started a program for law enforcement, first responders, and frontline medical professionals. And then in the future, we're hoping to get into long-term foster care and get into the skilled nursing center over in Buffalo. And there's a lot of things that we've got hopefully going on. And then yesterday I had a conversation with one of the special ed teachers up at the Sheridan Junior High School. And we're talking about maybe getting our ponies into the special ed classrooms next winter.
How cool is that? To actually, and I was there once when you actually brought a pony into the veterans home, and all of those guys just, I mean, they changed. You know, all of a sudden everyone was smiling, everyone was having a good time. And this little pony is right there in the middle of the home. And I loved seeing that. So with that skilled nursing facility that's going up over there, I'm really happy to hear that you're starting to reach out and maybe develop something with that. Because what a pleasure would it be? You know, CHAPS is coming today. And we get to go out, we get to spend some time with ponies and horses. Big deal here.
Yes.
Big deal. Now, since we're talking about this, can you tell me what CHAPS is? For those who may not know, you know, you and I are talking like everybody knows what this is. But what is CHAPS? What's your goal?
So we are an equine assisted services program. And what that means is that we connect humans and horses for the goal of learning, growing, and healing. Our mission is to be a resource for empowerment and healing, as well as for physical and mental well-being through equine assisted services. So we have a mental health program. We have a therapeutic riding. Well, it used to be called therapeutic riding. Now it's adaptive riding. We have an adaptive carriage driving program, and then we have a equine assisted learning program, which is what the ponies do over in Buffalo and at the CDC in Greenhouse. So we focus on social skills. We focus on relationship skills. We focus on improving core strength and balance, and there's so many benefits to horses.
Yeah.
It can be on the ground, in the carriage, or on the horse's back, and everybody will improve something. Focus and problem solving, spatial awareness is huge. Folks with sensory issues, the driving is amazing for them because there's so much, but it's in a safe space, right?
You can take more risks in a safe space, right? Mm-hmm. And those risks help you to heal because you've got to take those chances.
Yeah, exactly. We actually ended up with 3 children coming to us for mental health services this year as well. So that part is expanding now. And we got our veterans back from the VA after 3-year hiatus. So now the veterans and the residential mental health programs are coming back. And we've got veterans from the community through the Volunteers of America and just community members coming out to get services that way as well. So
it's amazing the therapy that a horse can give you.
They really are incredible.
And you know, when it comes to horses, you can't scam a horse.
No.
You know, you can't sweet talk a horse. They're going to know. If you're afraid, they're going to know.
So they are honest, non-judgmental, and they are going to tell you if they like something or if they don't. That's just, they live in the moment. They don't care what you did 5 minutes ago or what you're going to do in 5 minutes, but they're going to tell you right there, right then, if you're doing things right or if you're not.
And for those who don't know, when it comes to like the physical therapy aspect of this, being able to get up on a horse and keep yourself there, for a lot of us, we take that for granted. For some people, that's therapy. That's physical therapy, being able to balance myself on a moving animal.
Oh, absolutely. That improves core strength, leg strength, flexibility, balance, coordination. All of that happens while you're on the back of a horse.
And the whole time you're going through this physical therapy, you don't even realize it because you're having such a good time.
Right.
Because you're with a horse.
Absolutely.
And for those who absolutely love to ride, I mean, that itself is heaven.
Well, and think of the confidence building too. When you are maybe a little afraid of the horse, but you get up and then you're able to drive that horse through an obstacle course all by yourself, or maybe even still assisted with a volunteer, but you are still in charge of steering the horse through that obstacle course. How empowering is that for somebody?
And when it comes to like the mental health aspect of this stuff, you know, I don't know what it is. Megan Wells was in here. She said they're magical creatures. I completely agree. These animals can do things that I've never seen even therapy dogs be able to do. They just read us so well. I grew up around horses, grew up around a lot of horses. I don't own any myself, but my father has many. and that's how he spends his life. Where he goes, those horses go. And it's a long trek to Texas, and that's where he spends his winters, and he makes sure that every horse makes it down there with him. Now, what kind of changes do you see in a person when they're working with horses? Have you seen like big transitions?
Oh gosh. So let me answer that with a short story. We had a group of veterans coming out from the VA, and we had a couple of horses loose or at liberty in the arena. And this one particular veteran, he was a Coast Guard veteran, and he had a walker. He was a little tentative about going in with the horses, had never been around them before. And he ended up joining up with this horse. Like, this horse thought he was the coolest thing on the planet. And she followed him around that arena 6 or 7 times, just followed him around. And he turned back and looked at her, and she's still following, so he'd keep going. And then we called the group in for processing, and he's like, I think she was really infatuated with my walker. And very offhandedly, I didn't even think about what I was saying. I was like, well, she probably hasn't seen a walker before. It might have interested her, but if she hadn't liked your energy, she wouldn't have followed you anywhere.
Yeah, she wouldn't have cared anyhow.
So we go through the second activity, and we get back to our final processing for the day, and we ask everybody, well, what is your takeaway for the day? What did you learn today? And his comment, and I may choke up a little, was that for the first time in 20 years, I've liked myself because you told me that horse liked my energy.
Wow.
So, yes,
that's power.
It's incredible, right? And all she did was follow him around the arena. We have a client with cerebral palsy who can sit up and actually drop her bad leg that normally stays pretty tight and close to her body. And she's able to drop that leg and ride bareback.
Oh, I'll bet that is such a relief for her.
Right? We have another client who has problems with her posture. And so getting up on that horse, and then we use like exercise bands, and we put them around her elbows behind her back. And so then her posture has improved a ton. We had a veteran last year who was driving with us. She fell and broke her hip and was really disappointed that she couldn't come back and work with her horse in the carriage. But we brought her in her wheelchair and brought her horse to her. And she got to groom and talk and love on him, just be with him. And she still tells her daughter how it was the greatest time that she's ever had. They had to move her to Nebraska to a different care facility, but she still talks about us. So, yeah, there's amazing breakthroughs, epiphanies.
You see great things happen every day.
Absolutely.
I've only got about 5 minutes left, so tell me about the upcoming Tournament of Nights.
So the Tournament of Nights is our biggest fundraiser for the year. We put a lot of work into it. We want to make sure that we're providing the community with a high-quality family fun entertainment. And with that in mind, we try to grow it a little bit each year. We've included the Renaissance Fair, which includes craft vendors who all fall under that thematic medieval theme. And then the games go along with that as well. This year, we're actually really excited to announce that we have a new troupe coming. It's the Knights of Valor. They've actually been on the History Channel. And then they have their own channel, which is called Tilt TV. Shane is the captain of this troupe. He has 17 international titles just for himself.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be a very, very good show. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We got a new troupe. Coming in, new Knights.
Yes.
They're going to give us, it sounds like award-winning performances. And you know what? This is a heck of a thing to see. I absolutely loved going. Watching those guys collide was a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
And this will be full contact, so we can expect to see people come off of their horses.
Ooh, they're going to drop each other. Now, tell me about the Queen's Dinner. I heard this and I was like, you know what? I think I want a seat at that table. What's going on there?
So our Queen's Dinner is a new activity that we added last year. We wanted to give the people a chance to have a one-on-one intimate dinner that with a thematic meal, with entertainment and just a lot of one-on-one time with the knights. So we had an actor who performed Shakespeare. We had a 4-course meal that was catered by Antonia and the Bonafide crew. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a queen who reigned over the whole thing. It was, we had a photo booth set up, so anybody who bought a ticket was able to come and have their pictures taken with the knights.
How cool.
So, yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun. When is this taking place?
July 29th, 2023.
So we got plenty of time to go ahead and make our plans.
Yep.
And make out a costume, maybe.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know?
Costume contest.
I love
has
it.
Prizes.
I love it. You know, I saw Jill Benson out there.
Yes.
She looked amazing. Man, she put her heart into that, and it showed. Fantastic. Now, where can I go to volunteer for CHAPS? I've only got a couple minutes left, but how do I volunteer with you guys?
So you can either call us at the office at 307-673-6161, and we can talk about volunteer opportunities, or you can fill out an application online at chapsyo.org. We have administrative, we have feeders, we have session volunteers. There is a ton of ways, events like the Renaissance Fair, where we need 80 plus volunteers for the entire
All of a
day.
sudden, yeah.
Yep. So there's a lot of ways for everybody to volunteer. It doesn't have to be in a session. There's definitely opportunities available.
Fantastic. Where can I go to learn just more about CHAPS?
CHAPSYO.org is our brand new website with our new logo, our new name. And so, check us out.
Now, I do want folks, I want to reiterate this. This is a new troupe of knights that are going to be out there, and they're going to be putting on a fantastic performance for you. I mean, History Channel had these guys. So
yes, if you've ever seen Full Metal Jousting, if you haven't, you should go to the History Channel app on your streaming or whatever and look up Full Metal Jousting. They had one season. It was really awesome. But he's the host. His name is Shane Adams, and it was an amazing show.
It's going to be a fantastic show. It's going to be a great dinner. And I better start getting my costume ready. Ladies, I want to thank you for coming in today. It is always a pleasure having you.
Thanks so much, Floyd.
All right. You've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Shared.